So what I'm going to do today, as far as rockets go, is this is my scratch built rocket, the one I'm going to call the Defiant 2012, and it's been painted and for quite a few days. It's been dried, well dried, and so what I want to do with it is put the fins on today. Thinking of epoxying them. Just have to get this a little more square and rough up the surface on the bottom because it's got paint on it, and I'll just use a flat sanding block for that. And I have the lines already on here in pencil for where I'm going to place the fins. I'm going to put 3 fins on this. These are my my FlisKit rockets, and FlisKits, actually. FlisKits rockets. This is one I'm working on today. I was working on it today. It's called the Nebula, and it's a 13 millimeter, and it's a printout from FlisKits website. I printed it out on inkjet photo paper from a PDF file that was on their website, and I've installed the shock cord, which what I'm using for that is it's sewing elastic for inside clothes. I got that at Zeller's, and so I'm letting it dry. I used some weld bond glue inside the nose cone, and I glued the shock cord in there, and it just called for gluing straight in there. It didn't have one of those paper pieces that like the Estes kits have, so it should be interesting to see how that works. These are completed. The Midnight Express from FlisKits. It was another PDF printout, and also I have this one. It's the same size, but it's just different graphics. It's called Tour de Deuce, and this one's completed as well. I'll just show you the inside. So what I did was it called for balancing it, putting weight in the nose cone. So I used some clay, some modeling clay that I got at Michael's, and I just put it in there enough in to balance it, get it at the proper balance point for the center of gravity, and I put some weld bond glue over top of it just to hold it in place. And I also used black fishing line for the streamer, because these come with streamers. They don't use parachutes because they're pretty small. I'll just see if I can pull this out. It is here. Here's a streamer. I use crepe paper that I bought at the dollar store. It's about 12 inches of crepe paper, and it's about, looks about 1.5 inches wide, and so that's tied onto the bungee cord, and the bungee cord is just glued inside on that same bungee cord mount, like what Estes uses. He uses the same thing. And the rocket motor doesn't have any clip on it. I think in its instructions there's no call for a clip, so it just this B64 just fits right into the tube. This is just inkjet photo paper that I got. It's Kodak paper. I printed out the PDF file with the graphics on it from his website, and they have just cut it out and fold it, and the fins are actually kind of 3-dimensional the way he has the folds on it, so it gives it some dimensionality to the fins, and the launch lug is just is also from that paper, and just rolled an 1/8 inch diameter roll that you glue. This was just all done with white glue with Elmer's, and this is the same. This rocket is actually exactly the same. It just has different graphics on it. It says Tour de Deuce. And I noticed what I did was on this one I had to actually put a little tape on the shoulder to actually make it a little thicker so it would hold a little bit better, and that works alright. Put that away from you. Yeah, what I noticed with these streamers was I'm using black cotton or synthetic fishing line, and I used box tape on the end of it and knotted it on the end and folded it over. What I noticed I had to do though was I had to trim. The box tape kind of went over the edges of the crepe paper, so I had to trim it even. Had to trim the tape even with the edge of the crepe paper, because I noticed it was kind of sticking and kind of the streamer wouldn't unfurl, so I just trimmed it up and neatened it up a little bit, and it's basically what it's going to do. It's going to hang like this, hang like that, and this is going to be fluttering around to slow its descent. So it's on the agenda today is to glue fins onto my scratch built rocket. I think I'll rough up this this paint a little bit with sandpaper, just so it takes the epoxy a little bit better. And I'll join all these together, and I'll just sand this edge. So I'll just put it on a sandpaper and just sand it flat. It'll take that paint off, and it'll also make it flatter too, so it'll take the epoxy better. That's what I'm doing for it. So I've completed gluing the third fin on. It's going pretty well. Just using the eyeball method to align it. And I'm using this 90-degree groove that's molded into the top of this toolbox to good effect for holding the tube steady. It's pretty nice. I'm using 5-minute epoxy, so it's working really well. It doesn't take a long time to cure. And I'm putting fillets on. I'm sanding with this medium grit sanding sponge. I'm sanding the paint where the back of the fin actually contacts the tube. So I just want to sand a slight bit of paint off so it makes better contact. And it's going really well. Hopefully I'll be able to put the decals on tonight, and might even be able to complete it tonight.